CBPP was logged in, Carlos.
That's weird. Someone logged in from but you're still the host, right? It's supposed to be the host.
Well,
Yeah, it shows you as the host.
okay. Is the conference room logged in?
Shouldn't be.
It's all right. I'm making that a co-host also.
Oh, so it does give you a host access right now. You're logged in as a host.
I'm able to make other people co-hosts.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I don't know who that is. I don't.
How you doing? You sure, huh? It's not.
Unless it's someone just logged in and they entered the password as their name on the
Mhm.
the username.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, page 7 is missing all the initials. You could just ask her to send have the celebration. Yeah, just tell her.
Trying to काफी काम चल रहा है और गुजर चुके हैं मुझे मालूम है
Hello. How
you doing? Good to see you.
I think the last time I saw you was about 2018. I was looking back at some past emails. All right.
Cold hands, all right?
Yeah, that's right. You're already on camera, by the way. You can use, no, it's all right.
Okay. Okay. So Carlos, do you want me to send, because he's still to you?
Yes,
Things like-
yes.
Okay, great. I have an updated pricing sheet.
All right.
I'm gonna email it like an electronic version of
Mhm.
the slides and the pricing.
All right.
But
Do you
for
have it on your
attendees-
thumb drive or do you have it on your?
Yeah,
laptop or-
I can quickly email it to him. Yeah. So just if there, I don't know what the attendees, expecting as far as attendees, but hard copy always is great for people to be able to kind of have a
That's fine.
little cheat sheet on it.
We'll do it.
Hey,
Good to see you again.
Cold hand, sorry. Hey, good to see you.
All right.
So happy New Year to you.
And how you feeling? Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Yeah, I appreciate that. About to go on vacation. That'd be-
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, I live, my name is Anne.
Hi,
Yes.
Paolo.
Yes, I saw the.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
if-
great.
I will shake your hands, but I don't know if you want my goodies. or-
Yeah.
Maybe at a later date.
Yeah, well, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Look forward to your
Me and
presentation.
my wife would be upset if I took an unwelcome guest on vacation with us. We're leaving. I'm leaving after this meeting.
That's fine. Okay, so you're first on the agenda, by the way.
Okay, great. So,
The video is already going and so is it's not muted, just so you're aware.
Okay.
Right? We can always
Great.
put it back on mute. All right.
So let
John
me-
Ferris, how are you?
let me,
I am doing well. How are you, Rich?
summary.
Let's
Some of the stuff I'll be covering today, some of the virtual marketing.
Okay.
I don't know what attendees, but if you want, if there's somewhere you keep little stuff for agents, I've got updated brochures.
Okay.
That some of my clients report as being useful for listing presentations.
Hey, John, can you say something?
Our partners on
Something.
their homes regularly.
I can't hear you.
Some of their shoots and.
Something?
So, but the other thing is.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, side by side, if they do, sometimes it's being, if they're not ready to defend, I know, off the photo, sometimes photo, aerial, video, 3D is not necessary on every listing, because sometimes homeowners go, "Oh, I can do all of this for listing."
Yeah.
So,
Test, 1, 2.
So once again, when John talks, I cannot hear him. For example, I can't hear what.
oh, we have to
Can hear
change.
you, John.
I'm not on mute.
Okay.
So if you go to sound,
Go over
Can you
here
hear
on
me,
the
John?
Right of that. So right here. Microphone, the little arrow.
I can hear you.
Oh,
Sarah? I can hear everybody.
and then for same as system microphone? Yeah.
Just so you know.
Good morning, Sarah. How are you?
Good morning, Rich. Good. How are you?
do you mind if I get in?
No. Go ahead.
Let's see.
So you notice I did money sign, because like I waited, for obvious
Yeah, I
reasons, so we don't.
Well, we did that and
And then today I will cancel the listing
okay, and
on
then,
MLS.
okay,
I'll look over the documentation you have, so that's why we're meeting today, because you could ask them that over.
and I don't remember, oh, yeah, I'll remember. But,
Hey, John, can you say something?
Something,
I
1, 2,
didn't want to
3.
have a problem.
Okay, that's not working here. Trying to get you to.
She's probably going to be hammered with people contacting her,
Wow.
Oh, here we go.
cancellation.
Oh, why would,
People get, they improperly use the MLS. Which they cancel it.
Can you talk again?
Permitted, but
Hello, 1, 2.
who would?
Okay.
agents, yes.
Her directly? Or me?
So Sarah, you can hear me
I can hear you.
and I can hear you. And I can hear Carlos.
Same.
Now I cannot hear Carlos.
No.
So Sarah and I will hold the meeting between ourselves and you will just eat bagels. I was actually going to show up to the meeting today. I had a meeting, but my new client is in the hospital, so
Just the point is.
What about now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we're good.
Yay.
All right.
We're good to go.
I'm gonna try and contact her and say, hey. why
Are
don't
you going to?
Yeah, hold on, real quickly to you,
So you want me to put up the presentation?
yeah, or Richard can share the meeting link with me, and then I can share my screen to show.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
And then just hand it back.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great, okay, great. And I'll just mute
Did
it.
you already send you the email, the link?
Yeah, I'll mute everything and kind of stand in front of this one, because this will be kind of the master camera.
Yeah.
And mic, and then at least I'm able to share my screen, or when I share my screen, will that then mute this?
No, you'll share your screen. You're gonna be muted here, and then if you want, you can use this. one here.
It'll be still
Yeah, or
live
he can
mic.
give you hosting rights and.
I'm just trying to think about, we sometimes, you can kind of adapt on the fly.
Yeah.
It's usually a quick, I'll just mute my mic or I'll unmute my mic. If I'm
Okay.
muted on this one, when I take over the,
Actually, yeah, if you're muted here, you could still be heard on this one.
okay, so I'll stand. in
And
front,
then
I'll stand.
show your
Okay, great.
presentation here.
But do you want me to send you the invitation or Richard?
You know what? I don't see it actually. Let me do a quick search for it.
Well, if you just open Zoom, I can tell you.
Okay. I'm running a little slow. Maybe, if you haven't changed your password,
Should be that. Grab that.
right there.
So the meeting ID
Okay,
is 426 348 5385
sorry, 426-348.
348 5385. And the password is lowercase cbpp.
Did I'm gonna be in photos here.
Okay. Maybe once a while today. Yes. Okay, thank you.
So then is done. He's gonna be many right minutes. He's gonna listen. Am I a host, a co-host now? Well, are you not logged in?
Oh, yeah, services. I just wanted to send you that pricing sheet. So just sent that to you. Join.
Oh, there you go.
Are you?
Good, how are you?
Good morning. How are you today? Nice to
Hey,
see
morning,
you.
Bonnie.
Rich, you made CBP his co-host now.
I thought I made both, actually.
I'll
correct that.
CBP is just an, it's not any.
Well, the only option I have is to remove you as a co-host. Well, when I click on your picture, isn't that you?
Oh, yeah, no. doesn't allow me to add anybody as a co-host.
Okay, so I will do it. Are you logged in, Paolo?
Yeah.
There you are. All right. Are you logged in now?
Minimize this. I just haven't shared, so I can share my,
Oh, your screen. Okay.
I'm just muted, so I'll move over.
Okay. Morning, Nito. How are you? I think I actually know how to pronounce your last name.
Oh,
Can you
really?
believe that?
Oh, I'm gonna be very impressed if you can, because there's a lot of vowels.
You're gonna wait until I actually make the
Okay.
introduction, right? You can test me. I'm live. Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
We can.
Wonderful. That was funny, Nitu. We had somebody in the audience saying physically here saying, yes, I can hear you, Rich. But I assume everybody else that's remote can hear me, correct? Wonderful, wonderful. So we're going to start with our main guest speaker today. He's leaving for a vacation. Isn't he? Where are you going, by the way?
We're actually sneaking away to go play a little golf and warm up in Palm Springs. So yeah, but not too far away. Yeah, just for the week. So.
John Barris lives out there.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm saying, hey, John, I'm seeing it's a balmy 70 out there, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, John's on a permanent vacation, as a matter of fact. So our guest speaker is Paolo Biancalani.
Way.
All right.
Yeah,
If anyone else can say that,
bravo.
you're going to get a candy bar. Paulo is Vice President of Business Development for Preview First. So today's discussion, he's going to talk about photography. They have a host of different benefits that you will benefit from. You know who I sound like? I sound like Kamala Harris when I say that. If I repeat the same term over and over again, what do you think? And he's going to help us in regards to marketing ideas, correct, Paulo?
Correct, yeah, totally.
And then marketing strategies. And then he's going to talk about home buyers, the big platforms, heightened interest in virtual marketing. So Paulo, thank you for coming today and welcome.
Thank you, Richard. Thanks for having me out. All right, so let me so I can stay close enough to this, right, where you can still, everybody can still hear me, right? I'm gonna kind of trying to multitask, and if I'm not looking at you, I'm looking here, right, at my screen. So let me move over a bit. So everybody can see that sign above my head on my, I'm gonna put my eyes back on.
You have to share your screen.
Oh, I do? Oh, well, can you see at least my my video icon that I'm associated with above my head there, right? Preview first? Okay, great. Oh, you can or cannot? Okay, so I'm gonna quickly switch here to share my screen, and I'll be able to demonstrate. So who's heard of Preview first off? Okay, well, that's cheating, Carlos. So I know there's agents out of this office that use me, but we'll kind of cover this briefly today. So I'm going to be leaving a batch of these in the office here for you guys. It demonstrates that my team, and I work with probably one of, I think, the most incredible real estate photography teams here in California, if not on the West Coast. And I'll cover that in a little bit here, but I'm going to go over some of the data that we track on the big platforms. And also I'm going to show you the importance of what is still the #1 demanded shopping feature by home shoppers, which is photos, believe it or not. All the recent surveys over the past few years and last year on the big platforms with NAR, CAR show that consumers by far, like I'm talking 97, 98% of surveyed home buyers and home sellers still prioritize looking at photos to determine their interest in your listings or not. So, and most of them start their searches on one of these. If you can not see that, that is a iPhone. It's a cell phone. So you got to understand what you're up against. You got to understand also next what the
consumers are looking for in regards to the type of media that you should be presenting to them. You should have been doing this pre-COVID, but for sure post-COVID, you should have pivoted. And I work with some of the busiest agents in real estate. My clients are up on Netflix, Bravo, you name it. I work with the $1 million listings, Property Wars, Selling Sunset. These are all clients of mine. I work with Hollywood A-listers. I work with celebrity listings, record listings, Bill Gates properties. We know what we're doing with photography. We just helped market Sandra Bullock's property, but I work with all the pro athletes too. I think we're exceptional with photography. We offer all the other suite of services, but we're very unique in our space in that I actually hire and train employees to come out and shoot for me. So I'm not like the big outfits that have 1099 relationships with contractors and they offer large regional service or national service. So in this space, you either have the rock stars that are doing those kind of shoots, as I mentioned earlier, that you pay a gob for. And I know some of them, they do excellent work. I would hire them if I could afford them. They're about $1,200 to $1,600 a shoot. Believe it or not, clients pay that. I have some clients that you would know that don't always use me, but mostly they use me, Tim Smith, etc. Take a look at 19 Seabreeze Terrace. We just launched that. I'm going to demonstrate that on the platforms. So to show you that the big heavy hitters in this space understand the value of checking all the boxes for photos, video, aerial, 3D, because the big platforms algorithms are looking for it. Do a search homes for sale in Irvine and see what Google delivers to page 1. It'll be mostly homes with the virtual marketing attached to them. And then I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and I'm going to demonstrate some of the stats that back up my claims. So look, I'm not the only player in this space. There's a lot of other incredible companies out there. So everybody can see that. Let me move this over so I can actually see this. Oops. All right, now I'm gonna expand this. Okay, so if you're not familiar with us, take a look at us. Okay, so I'm gonna hopefully this will be my last pitch as far as who we are in our space, because quite frankly, it matters. You'd be surprised how an easy hook it is to say, I don't compromise on my marketing. Photography is still the #1 demanded shopping feature by home shoppers. I use a team that is the premier team in California. They literally shoot for the stars. So Hollywood A-listers and, again, I could go through a really large list. I'm careful to provide it in writing and on my website because I haven't got an agreement with Netflix and Bravo and all these guys to be doing it. And quite frankly, I'm not prepared to pay the royalties and some of the other stuff that we've discussed with them. But scroll down and you'll see kind of our work. But I will direct you down to a very busy Newport Coast team. Some of you may know, you may recognize them. Doing what's called an agent property intro for their videos. On all their listings, they do photo, video, aerial, 3D, property intro, outro, call to action. If you guys follow some of the big coaches like Tom Ferry and Brian Buffini and all that, they tell you guys, mic up, show up in your video. Who's doing video? I mean, first off, you guys should all be doing video. You don't have to use me. Hopefully you got a good team that's doing video. If you are doing video, on your next one, ask them if they do what's called an agent property intro, where you show up in your video, you do a real brief introduction. Hey, welcome to my listing here in Irvine. Let me tell you about this gorgeous property, whatever the division or the community is that it's in. Call to action. Hope you enjoyed this video. Here's my contact info if you want a private showing. This is one of a kind kind of property, whatever it is, right? But
you do voiceover for people?
Yes. It's funny enough. So actually have a professional company that, because as much as I'd love to do all your voiceovers, because apparently I have this weird hybrid thing going on with my accent. So give me a beer or two and you hear butter and water and my British accent will start to come through. So it's important because we're in an industry and a business that's all about relationship, and you guys are all petrified because I am too. 99% of humans when surveyed are scared to public speak. I don't look good, I don't sound good. Consumers, quite frankly, don't care. In fact, they actually do care to want to relate to their real estate agent. Okay, so all the polls say literally, and I'll show you data, 85% of them surveyed said that they would love to work with an agent who does video, and also obviously is also, you're cognizant of being in their face, in their feed, with multiple multi-tiered branding campaigns. Okay, so that is traditional marketing, photo, video, print, digital, social, and you need to be consistent with it. So, so just test me on the next one. Whoever you're using, say, mic me up. Okay, I want to do a property intro, outro with a call to action. And you can do voiceover if you're fearful of being in front of camera, but I would challenge you all to try it out. I've had clients where I've said, literally, you know, if you don't get the results, I'll refund you. Okay, and they got where they normally get 5, 6, 7, 8 comments. They got hundreds of comments. They got like hundreds, if not thousands, of likes. Like, oh my Lord, you look beautiful. You sound great. So they don't always, you know, and this, of course, this team's polished. They do it on they do 50 to 60 listings a year. They've done this for 10 years and they mic up all the time. Okay. But other ones, like I mentioned earlier, Tim, and some of these other agents, it's what they do. Okay. And they understand the value of engagement. Engagement, when you do this, goes up 200 to 300%. That's a big numbers, right? But keep it brief. Like there's a couple other agents where they literally will send my team a script and be like, oh my word. Please contact, you know, whoever it may be in Beverly Hills or wherever in Malibu, and tell them that we suggest, and we'll pare it down to like 4 sentences or 5 sentences on screen. Maybe if they want to do voiceover and it's highlighted or bridge, that would work too. But you don't want to be the star. And also, in fact, if you are the star in your video, a lot of times we cannot put it on Zillow for you, and you want it to be up on Zillow. Okay, as much as you might not like Zillow, I'm going to briefly cover why you want to be up on Zillow. And if you can be up on Zillow branded for free, shoot, do it. Okay, 2 out of 3 property searches in the United States run through that group, whether you like them or not. If you can be promoted and your listings and your brand can be promoted on their shelves, put the cookies on the low shelf on somebody else's store you don't pay rent for, why not? Okay, so whatever the ultimate agenda is, so I will cover that we're one of the very few that were started out with them on the video program. They approached all the big real estate companies and they asked us to partner with them. They wanted access to my 20-something thousand clients here in SoCal. And we said no, and my partner said no initially, and then I met with their marketing, their management team in San Diego. They flew down, promised us that they had your best interest at heart. This is all about promotion up on their platform. They would never become a brokerage, you know, and sure enough, here we are, right? 2022 happened and we're into 2023. And if you're familiar with Showing Time,
Yes.
okay, so I don't trust them as far as I can throw them, and I'm probably being recorded here. But
agree with you.
okay, I don't trust. At this point and I was just on the phone with them a couple weeks ago with their management team again about they pulled the video program, if you're familiar with it, the end of last year. So it was giving my clients all this crazy promotion. So we're still figuring things out with them right now. They're telling me that their next pivot is going to be more like what Redfin's doing, who they've actually partnered with, if you're not familiar with it, for 3D. Is anyone familiar with the syndication partnership thing? Okay, put a Zillow 3D home up on Zillow. It auto syndicates to Redfin because all the big platforms know consumers are looking for 3D. So there's a lot going. I'm going to be. I wish I had more time, but we can always do a deeper dive, and I can go over the specifics. If you'd be surprised, consumers are interested in this stuff. They're interested to know how your listing, should they list with you, is gonna get maximum visibility on all these big giant platforms where all the home shoppers go. Okay. So, and if you can quickly articulate that on the phone at the door, mostly in that living room, you win listings. I'm a busy regional team. Okay. Before the Fed started messing around with things last year, I can do over 100 shoots a day. Okay. I'm a busy team. We know what we're doing with this stuff. And I make sure I speak to my top producers. Hey, what's going on? What you finding is effective? Why are you checking all my boxes? Like, I love it, but I'm curious. So, and they tell me this is some of the value that we represent to them in the midst of everything else they're doing as successful agents. Checking all these boxes is important to consumers, and particularly in the living room. Okay, when they finally got that opportunity to sit down and demonstrate value, they then quickly separate themselves from their competition, because their competition might be doing photos, might be doing professional photos, believe it or not. Okay, you'd be shocked. Still in Southern California, not everybody hires one of me to come out and shoot for them. Some of them are going out, they're shooting them with this. They don't understand the value of optics, professional optics, that alone. But regardless, you're not a pro. I have teams that went to college and trained, and they know what they're doing with this stuff. And whoever you're using, hopefully does the same for you. Okay. So take a look at the website, jump around on there, take a look at obviously the solutions. I'll also direct you to the virtual staging page. We, yeah.
The video that could have played, what is the
Oh.
duration of time?
Oh yeah.
Can I just asking possibly, would you mind playing it if it's not? that
Oh,
long?
sure, yeah.
Because I may not search for that and look for it.
Yeah.
So if we could see it now to see what they do specifically.
Sure.
that'd be helpful.
Yeah. This one, let me go back down here.
Share audio when you share your screen.
Oh, you know what? Let me go. So I'm actually. So let me go down to Zoom. Oops. Oh, you know what? Let me go back here. Sorry. Yeah, because it's not playing sound. So let me see. Let me move this over here. Oh, you know what? Let me go up here where I'm unmuted. All right. It's really pretty. And okay, so let me move on to where. And first off, we don't bring the toys. If you've seen that AMG there, and some of them on my website, there'll be Ferraris and McLarens and other stuff and model. You know, we don't work with talent. We try and discourage people from bringing. Like if you've ever watched some of Tim's movies. Just because you kind of really can turn off consumers, but show up in your videos. If you have toys, bring them. Like if you have, you know, whatever Ferraris, Rolls Royces and all that stuff, depending on the market, it can help production value for the video, but you can't isolate and separate. And you can end up, if you go in a certain direction with putting too much storyboarding, or if it's too production, if it's too produced, you lose that synthetic organic feel to a video, and then like where they can't relate to you. So I wish I could play this where they're just doing a real basic welcome to my listing here in Newport Coast. Hold on, let me see if I can without giant echoes. Oh, thank you. I don't know. Yes.
It's on the website, though, right?
Yeah, so sorry, yeah. So they do a real brief, and then, you know, there's a little bit of B-roll where they're walking up the property, and sometimes there might be some B-roll we suggest if there's home automation, like nano doors, or some of the homes we have the retractable ceilings or glass elevator, you know, the agent going up the glass elevator to the second floor, third floor. You know, again, there's some of these properties in Irvine. We know we shoot Shady and some of these other crazy, beautiful communities in Irvine. But yeah, we get to shoot the $60-80 million ones in Irvine Cove in Laguna Beach, and the 100+ ones up in Beverly Hills and Malibu. We actually, again, I'm just showing you some. If we are your team, you absolutely should be part of your pitch. So we shot it. We originally went on the market at $98 million piece of land up in Montecito. You know, Oprah's community, and Ellen was on the news recently with the floods. So I had a team go up there for 2 days. And we shot an incredible production. It was a global launch, marketing launch that we did. So we can go all the way up there, and we can then bring it all the way back down to a brand new agent starting here in the business in Irvine with a $500,000 condo or whatever it is, right? So that's the kind of broad spectrum of service that I offer. And I see my battery's about to run. Oh my word, today it's just amateur day today. So I probably got minutes here before my battery runs out, unless someone can lend me a Mac charger quickly. All right, let me blow through this very quickly here. I'm so distracted with this trip. I apologize. All right, so okay, so that's who we are. Preview first. So thank you so much. I need power. Is there somebody that would mind plugging that in somewhere? Oh, thank you. All right, okay. So look, this is still about photos, right? So and if we're part of your team, and we literally, the team that I hire are exceptional at what they do. They're artists, right? But they're professional artists that represent you well. Sometimes you're not there. You got to have trust in whoever your vendor partner is to represent you. So we act like an extension of our team, of our clients. We know we're doing. We've done probably 300,000 shoots. And it's still the #1 demanded shopping feature for home shoppers. You're going to have this. I'm going to send this slide deck to Richard and to Carlos. So you'll have all these words. You'll have all this data. You'll be able to hopefully demonstrate value. Even if you don't use us, you should know these numbers. You should absolutely know these. Now, this is a cheat sheet of my pricing. We'll also have a cheat sheet showing you how to piece it all together, because I'm a la carte. I don't force you into packages. But you know, this again, we have photography services starting from $175. I actually have a solution for leases. So many of my clients, these giant portfolios where the clients went, stop, we're not selling. What? All right. Some of them went 1031 and went and did leases. So I have a solution. If you want to write it down, or I'll email you today. I cannot put it on my website. It's a loss leader because it gets abused. It's called Just Give Me 10. I don't care if it's 10,000 square foot Shady Canyon home. My team comes out, you say, Paolo, I have a lease or whatever. I just need upwards of 10 magazine grade photos with a website. It's $150. By the time I dispatch one of my team members out there, I'm losing money. It's designed to help my clients pivot and survive this bumpy 2023. It's called Just Give Me 10. I'll email you later today once I get to the resort. About
part of your listing video services of 200.
Yeah, so the listing video is an add-on, and you'll see it on the cheat sheet that I'll send to you. It's a whopping $75 to add that. Intro, outro, call to action. Okay, because my team have to do some audio. A lot of times we mic once we mic people up and we say action. You see the veins and the red and the and we, you know, so we try to talk them up the ledge, and my team knows how to crack jokes and all this good stuff. And 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 takes later, we've nailed it. And then yeah, so but I highly recommend you do one. I mean, I joked around about, you know, me and my say get a little bit of liquid courage or whatever you need to do it, do one, and then say, hey, Paula, you don't know what you're talking about. I didn't get a single like. So typically, like, it's like, welcome to my listing here in Irvine. You know, and I would, if I were you, whatever your farm is, I'd say I'm the local area specialist in whatever your farm is, Woodbridge or whatever it is, right?
Things to her.
So intro, so there's an intro,
Okay.
there's an outro. So in the beginning, my team will mic you up. You'll stand in front of whatever you feel is the selling feature of that home, or perhaps the yard or the backyard, the views, the city, you know, city views of Irvine, whatever it is. And then you will say, welcome to my listing here, whatever the property address is. Because the homeowner, you got to remember, the video is about emotion. So you've got, you considering the sale. So you're up there for your brand, you're up there for the sale of the listing. There's post-sale value in that referral from the homeowner. You're selling their property. They love that home or whatever their memories are on that home. So tell consumers and remind the homeowner, this is a beautiful listing here. I'm so proud to be listing this property here in Irvine. Then at the end, my team will ask you, okay, cut. We'll do an outro. Outro. So it's a O-U-T-R-O accent. It's your closing. It's the closing, right? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like a private showing, here's my contact info is about to follow at the end of this video. Okay, so that's called your call to action. You know, if you're interested in this property, please contact me. Always do a call to action. CTA is, that's where your money is. Okay, so don't forget to do your call to action at the end of the video. And that's and if you want to do narration where if this home's loaded to the gills with features and upgrades, you can speak to that. It's in a blue ribbon school district, whatever it is. We can do what's called a voiceover or narration. That's an extra $75. And then we'd need your shot list ahead of time, so we know to absolutely capture things in the home that you're going to plan on you're going to talk about in the video. Okay, and we have examples. You can email my team; they'll send you examples of this. We do this stuff all day, every day. Believe you me, that we probably. Okay, I'm going to mention Zillow again. We're only regional, but Zillow tells us we are the top producing video partner of theirs in the United States. That's how much video we do here in Southern California. Southern California is video capital for real estate in America. Okay, the only other place I think that does any similar numbers to Southern California is Florida, South Florida. Okay, so I'm on this one. Okay, so what comes with a preview first account? You know, that you can, again, I can't go through this. I'm going really long. So I shared some basic numbers in the beginning when I started speaking, but you guys should know these numbers. The numbers have only gone higher. So if they're my age group, your potential clients are spending 6 to 9 weeks online vetting all of you. Okay, looking at the market, what's for sale. If they don't know an agent they're going to work with them, most of them unfortunately already do. Okay, there's 7 out of 9 of them in that NAR research study that says they've got one agent in mind. So you need to be invading their space and showing value. Not only invading their space, you need to show value. Okay, if you're gonna change if you're gonna open up their mind to working with you, okay, and you've got 0.7 seconds to get a first impression out of some of my age group. Okay, 0.7 seconds. So if I land on your homepage, your website for your property or whatever you're trying to pitch at me, if it's not exceptional, according to industrial psychology, it's going to take 20 resets for me to change my first impression of you that I've established in less than 1 second. I couldn't tell you the value of top class media with whoever you're using. So 20 retries, you're not getting me back again, quite frankly. Okay, in all reality, the consumers, if you've got a bad first impression, that goes with knock at the door, on the phone, in that living room. Just remember that first impression, how important it is. Okay. 2023 is going to be, I heard some people that were like the bears were growling. Stephen Thomas, who's familiar with Stephen Thomas? Okay, it's a good friend of mine. We were at a regional training event recently, and this was like the beginning of 4th quarter. And once everyone cleared out the room, I cornered the guy, and he's a big man. And I said, Stephen, what the heck is going on? Because we went from 100 something shoots a day to 40. We didn't pump the brakes. We just slammed on the brakes. That second rate hike. And quite frankly, economists like him are still trying to figure this all out. Like there's a couple new things that are in this space and that they're still trying to figure out how bumpy this year is going to be. And he wasn't aware of what I was aware of in a meeting that I cannot share the specific details of it because I quite frankly, but anyway, it has to do with the hedge funds and what they're up to in this space. And one of them that might be a color and a stone it's so
Black Rock.
it might be doing some funky things that I might have heard of. And that's the stuff that's not even been reported on. They're testing it out in one of the states, a big property dump. That's if they do that nationwide, you wouldn't believe how much property these guys own, like residential property, like 1 in 8 homes is what I hear. So if they start playing around with things, 2023 is going to be interesting. So, but there's opportunity. There's always opportunity, right? So position yourself, push in with your marketing. This gentleman is one of the most respected marketers in the world, probably. And he talks about in downturn markets, the ones that thrive once it turns are the ones that were pushing in. Okay. And just know that your competitors are going to do this. They're going to panic, or they're going to start to worry about, oh, my word, my budget, easily. I just focus on marketing. That's one of the first things that goes. There's going to be a lot less noise in all your respective spaces. In my space, I'm pushing in. I work with probably one of the biggest. I have a enterprise deal with probably one of the biggest brokerages in the world. They're spending multiple seven figures this year. Okay. They haven't pulled back on their marketing. So they all see opportunity for market share grabs in a downturn market. So just be aware, that's what whoever you're using, please don't back away from your marketing this year, push in, okay? And then I shared about photos. Again, you'll have all of this stuff here, but please pay attention to, the fact that 60% of their time when they're shopping for home is spent looking at photos, 20% on property description, okay? They eliminate your listing because of photos they're seeing that you guys put up there. And I look in this market and I'm shocked at how bad some of the photos are out there. Quite frankly, it looks like some of them are handheld. If you ever see a photographer show up and he doesn't put that, or she doesn't put that camera up on a tripod and shoot a series of ambient brackets and then walk around with a flash to prop and get a good color representation on the palette of colors in that space, fire them. They don't know what they're doing in my space, okay? I see a lot of what looks like handheld single bracket exposures out there on the MLS for Irvine, or they look like they're only ambient and they look like they're HGTV, washed out, lacking detail and contrast. Consumers want to really understand spatial context and color palette, okay? They don't want to get there and that whatever mahogany is it look like dark oak and it's really mahogany, or it look like whatever, a lighter color and it's a darker maple. So be very, very color accurate, whoever you're using, make sure they don't mess around with that. That's very important to consumers. The power of marketing on one of these needs to be what you need to think about in 2023. Okay. So in 2022, Cisco was tracking data, 80% of all web traffic was video. Okay, that's over 1,500% higher than it was in 2017. How many of you are doing video, whether it's for your listings or for your social media content? Hands should all be boom, 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 popping up, okay? Consumers love video, and particularly on the social media platforms where a lot of real estate viewing is happening now, besides Zillow and Redfin. And I can, again, I'm going long as it is, but, and believe you me, if you are doing video and you're doing the normal MLS video, which is a white, like the wide screen, so you're filling this up, you're filling up the screen this way, great, that's for the MLS and your websites. But if you plan on putting that on social media, just understand it only fills up a third of the screen unless they go through the process of turning their hands that way, and then it'll automatically play the full screen. If you do that on social media, Instagram, Facebook, all of the ones that offer video feeds, your engagement goes down about 200 to 250% on Facebook and Instagram. They'll swipe past you. If you're not filling their screen this way with a 9:16 ratio video, they're going by you and they're going to the kitties and the puppies or whatever you disrupted their day with. So just so you know, that's what the stats show. So fill up their screen, literally engagement goes up 300% to 400% on certain platforms. And make sure if you are doing video, you're putting it on YouTube. Okay, it's the #1 viewed platform, YouTube Shorts for real estate, not Facebook, not Instagram, YouTube. Okay, so if you're spending the marketing dollars, make sure you're also targeting the right platforms with the appropriate marketing. Okay, so if you were familiar with the Zillow video program I shared with you, it's a goner right now. Okay, so no more geo-targeted marketing, no more this. Oh my wait, let me show you just so you can realize. And it's not just the condos and that are doing this. Did that? Okay, cool. Didn't cover it. So go on Zillow. This is a recent shoot of ours. Initially, we listed this completely vacant with digitally staged photos. It first went on the market at $30 million. So if you, again, a lot of vacant properties being shot right now. You know, there's what in this marketplace, I think there's 31% of properties in Orange County are absentee homeowners. So just know it's okay to do digitally staged photos, like virtual staging, right? Virtual declutter, virtual remodel. So this property was actually originally marketed with virtually staged photos. And then, yeah, just be aware too what the big platforms are looking for. Homes for sale in Irvine with virtual tours, and most of them are 3D that the search algorithms present to consumers. Again, do homes for sale, you'll see what the big platforms are presenting to consumers, which is weird because I think realtor.com is always a little slow to catch up with, I think, again, if I'm being recorded here, where Google in most cities, when I do a search homes for sale, what Google is presenting to consumers is usually on Redfin and Zillow and Trulia, homes with 3D first. So if you know programming, if then else, it seems if there's 3D, it's 3D, then video, then virtual tour, then open house. Okay. So I would highly recommend you do 3D, whoever you're using. Just
Are you talking about that, like
Matterport, and I'm gonna again, I'm probably gonna get a lot of friendly fire here. I would recommend considering Zillow 3D Home because of what they do in their platform. Almost 100, and depending on the market, 200% more views versus a home without it. Okay, and then it auto syndicates to Redfin. So, but the Zillow, the Matterport 3D is still showing up. Like we shot one for Tim Smith. Familiar with Tim Smith? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, so 19 Seabreeze Terrace. Do a search for it on Google. You'll see it'll come up with the video and the 3D. Go to Redfin, and you'll see how Redfin populates. It's the hero shot, and right next on Redfin for that property for Tim, 3D, and right below that is video. Then photo number 2.
The 3D photo.
Yeah, I mean,
Photo and video.
yeah, I would. So if you
3D
do,
video photo.
let me see if I've got that one here. It's good. It's from what I'm seeing. Let me demonstrate it here. So like, for instance, this one is so on 19 Seabreeze. It's 3D video, and on the phone, if I went to the Redfin app, And if you have the Redfin app, go to it, type in 19 Seabreeze. It was the hero shot, which is that twilight shot we right there. Then it's 3D, then it's video, then it's photo number 2. Because that's what they're showing on all they're all about consumer experience, right, on these platforms. So they're showing that consumers stick with listings that have immersive marketing like 3D. They like the video too. So they absolutely are putting those cookies on the lower shelf on their platforms for consumers. Only because it's about consumer experience. And they've seen that consumer stays longer with that listing versus another listing. Their value of their platform goes up. It's all about consumer experience, right? So up you go, SEO, right? So, and then there's certain parameters that you need to comply with on Zillow if you're interested in adding video. I'm going to send that to Richard and Carlos. With that change, in speaking to CRMLS, I'm working closely with CRMLS to try to figure this out with Zillow, because Zillow, believe it or not, is not being forthright with not being it's forthright, it's probably not the right word. They're struggling to definitively understand the change. The CRMLS is struggling to understand the change on Zillow, from Zillow. CRMLS is the largest MLS in the country. You think Zillow would prioritize them so they better understand how agents are, can understand the changes up on their platform. So CRMLS was telling me my clients need to put it into box number 3, but always check with your MLS expert, please, just to make sure about this. I was on the phone with Zillow management and they're saying box number 1. And this is the description tab, right, on when they put in your listing. Okay, but this would be where the branded video would go up. The unfortunate part about this recent change is you need to now decide between do you want the 3D or do you want the video showing up on Zillow? So again, they're working to fix that. Supposedly they're prioritizing, trying to copy what Redfin's doing for video, which would be a Vimeo or a YouTube view link that we would provide you with. Then you could input that and go on Zillow and custom edit, go on Redfin and custom edit your listing. So again, this is a lot of info, right? So yeah, my apologies. I'll send this to you guys. If you have questions, call me on my team. Okay. So the benefits of adding this type of virtual marketing is just, it's palpable. The numbers, you can track it all. 3D, I mentioned earlier. These are some of the data as to why we recommend you add video. I'm sorry, 3D too, besides what I just demonstrated on the big platforms. And since COVID, the big platforms have been tracking consumer interest in 3D over almost 500% increase in viewing 3D up on Redfin. And whether you like Redfin or not, or you like Zillow or not, in certain markets, I hear regularly from clients, people came to my open house saying they came from Redfin. Or most other markets, people came to my open house saying they came from Zillow. Okay, you want to be visible on these platforms, and if you're just aware of how to just tweak your marketing to make sure you show up with the right content, and you can do it for free because you've done it through the MLS or you've custom edited on their platforms, absolutely be doing it. Okay. Yeah, another one of Tim Smith's. This is Zillow. That is Matterport 3D. Right below the hero shot. Okay, so and Redfin is next. What you're showing up, what you're looking like on Redfin. They're presenting 3D first, video next. Okay, so just be aware of that.
The 3D is the Matterport.
And that's Irvine. What's that?
The 3D is the
Matterport. It could be we supply Matterport. We're busy testing at Zillow 3D Home. So stay tuned for that. We're thinking it's, whether we get some friendly fire or whatever by offering it, we think it's worth offering it. We're trying to come out at hopefully around the $100 value for 3D Home. So it'll be very affordable. It's a link you'd be able to share. You can put it on the MLS. You can share it outside of Zillow, and you don't pay any kind of like hosting fees like you do for Matterport. So, and plus it comes with an interactive floor plan. So people that are navigating around your listing in Irvine will understand spatially how this all connects and dimensions. I mean, so we see value in it. Yeah, it's connected to them, but I think there's opportunity. And again, the value of it, visibility on the platforms, which I think this is custom. 3D, all first, presented to consumers on Google. So you make the determination, but we see value in it, and I tell my clients to add it because I want them to be more visible with more listings or more photo shoots. And then virtual staging, highly recommend you guys consider this. There's so much vacant space for shooting. We're $30 an image. I know of no other. There's one other outfit that's a global provider of this service that's even in that price range. But we also know what we're doing as far as not floating the grand piano up on the wall and scaling it so people have a spatial understanding of how this all would work. That might not be their style, but we do it at a real high level. None of this is there. In fact, this one I think is shady. And then this one was a funny story. Coldwell Banker agent that got into it with the buyer. Because the buyer said, I love this listing. I want to buy it as is, furniture and all. And he had to say this is vacant. And he was like, I'm not stupid. I can see the reflection in the mirror. And he's like, no, my team really do a really good job. So that was vacant there, but I thought that was funny. I thought that was funny. That was really funny. So anyway.
The stats that you were showing before in regards to the benefits of 3D photography.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you get that from? And
So
can you
that's-
make that available?
Oh,
Because that would be great for our listeners.
Yeah, it's coming your way. So once I get situated, I'm going to be sending you everything you're seeing here and more, like more data. So there's even more data, but all that data is from like, that was Redfin, that was Zillow, that was NAR, that was some property other websites that I track, like apartment rentals. So it covers like the full gambit of properties, like with the luxury condos, apartments, detached.
So you just compile the information.
Yes, I compiled that onto like one little sheet. Yeah, but I'll send you that and more today. Yeah. And then so let me go through this. Like and then we have the other one that is really popular is declutter. So I used to, when we started testing this out, like, hey, are you guys interested in a service like this? And this was that property I just showed you up on Zillow. That's what it looked like. And then we were able to virtually digitally stage it. So but declutter, right? This is and just disclaimer, if you do copy and paste this for listing presentations or whatever, just this is not the same property, right? So this was a downtown shoot in San Diego, but this next one was, and it was in La Cresta. So it's $25 to declutter a photo, and then most of my clients then take that and they'll actually ask us to stage it. So all digital, everything, the declutter's digital, the staging's digital. So this is an actual shoot. Full car garage. It was like a hoarder, literally. So once the home was beautiful, they opened up the garage and like, oh my word. So we were able to see enough of the floor where we were able to digitally remove all of this. This is all there when it's sold. My graphic artists are incredible. So when so my photographers that will show up with us, Kaylee, whoever it might be, they don't do any of the editing. I have people that went to school for editing, and that's all. So the Tim Smith shoots, those are being edited. Your photos are being edited by the same team that's working on a lot of those agents' listings on all their properties. And then my team, my client asked us to put the speedboat and the jet ski in there because it was Murrieta and La Cresta, if you're familiar with that community in Murrieta. Yeah. So but this is what you really are dealing with. Okay. So mostly, there's a bit of a lag here. Oh yeah, mostly you're dealing with this home office. People are still working from home. You know, I'm hearing more and more companies are forced to say, hey, time to come back into the office. You know, so but and then so that all was there. We digitally removed that and we digitally replaced it with more contemporary looking furniture. That's more of the shoots that we're doing nowadays. So $25 to digitally declutter spaces, and it's less if it's just a one object. Perfect. So, but this one was a little more extensive. So if it's just like one or two things, if it's like a cord, normally that's complimentary. If it's like a small object you want to remove from the photo, like somebody forgot a box or kitty playpen or whatever it is, that's my team will custom quote you. It'll be less than 25.
So are you talking about per photo?
Per photo, yeah. So it's per photo. So be selective. We've had clients that said the entire shoot, they paid $500 to digitally stage an entire shoot. Normally it's photo 1, 3, 5, primary bedroom, whatever it is. But just know clients are getting really creative with this stuff in pursuing absentee homeowners and expireds. And I'll explain that in a little bit. But this is kind of what my clients mostly are dealing with. Is that was at the shoot. And this was later in Photoshop, what we were able to do on the right, right? So that doesn't exist. All the photos on the right are not, they're digital reality, okay? They're not, none of that's there. That's all what on the left, what it looked like when the listing went live. On the right was the photos they went live with, okay? Same thing here. Oops. Right? That was in Santa Barbara. And then again, there's a bit of a lag. So we can take this all to the next level too. So like this next photo that's coming up is another solution of ours called digital remodel. Okay, this was a $14 million listing in Laguna Beach that my poor client, what happened was the contractor pulled out and they'd already bought all the finishings. Okay, so we were able to work with the designer and digitally finish the space as it would be when ultimately they got a new contractor in there, and they went live with the photos on the right. So that's a custom quote though. And then what my clients are doing too is that when they see expired, they have to check with your legal team about how they're doing. I don't know how they're doing this legally, but I'm hearing this often enough that I'm mentioning it now at meetings. So all of this is how, if you walk the property when it went for sale, and this is what we were able to work with as far as the designer on all the finishings that had already been purchased. But
So is that the number you're saying the customer choice conversation? Because if they want to see the home, they expect them to see it on the house.
but so just for instance, like that $30 million listing that we did the virtual staging on in Corona Del Mar, still in the market now. If you do that Newport tour, it's a fascinating home. It's so they have regular open houses. There's some strange things in that home. It's a 13,000 square foot home with dungeons under the home. We don't question, we just go out and shoot. You know, but whatever. Okay, but this is what I'm hearing about. So my clients will have us come out, do the just give me 10 for $150, say to a client, hey, look, I know you're not on the market right now. I'd love to come out and offer you a unique service my competitors won't even do. It's completely complimentary. Let me come out there and I'm going to take a couple photos. I'm going to then digitally remodel the spaces to show you the value. Like if we took that, no offense, that dated kitchen or that dated primary bedroom, and we made the investment of remodeling these spaces, this is the kind of value that you could see should we go to market with your home versus wait. My team have us come out, we'll then shoot whatever. Use upwards of 10 photos in certain spaces. It doesn't have to be 10 photos. And then we'll then change the floor, remove things, change the floor, then also stage it with a different look. Let's see, it's going to be a little lag here, which. Okay, so mix it up. So now, you know, if you remember the old dark oak floors and stuff like that. So that's what we've been doing quite a bit of late. So again, you weren't even in the running for these listings, right? So now you're in the game. You're offering them value or service they've never even heard of. Yeah.
So for the 10 pictures, you're saying like 175.
It's just give me 10. I'll email you guys today about it. It's not on my, okay, the reason why you want to see it in the cart, if you're familiar with the preview for shopping cart or my website, is because we used to offer it state like this throughout Southern California. My team would show up and the client would say, oh, and that one, and that one, and that one. Next minute, my team shot 20 something photos for a loss leader service. Then, oh, you forgot the peekaboo view in the backyard. Please come out again at no cost. I was bleeding profit on the service. So my partner and I, we removed it from Southern California. We're offering it selectively out. And there will be an email my team will send you with a shot list. And with a little disclaimer, you clearly understand if you want us back out, there's a charge in order to try and make sure that we're partnering on this. Okay. But so my clients primarily use that for leases, just so you know, like if there's a big 4,000 or 5,000 square foot house, they would normally be a $375 shoot to come out and do the full shoot. It's $150 for my team to come out and get 8 to 10 key shots. But you could use it, say, in the towers over here in Irvine, right, where we do a lot of shoots.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
You say that before you even get the listing. You just get the notice.
That's what I've heard a couple times, and I'm telling you, I'm like, huh. All right, so because I'm not in your space, I don't know the legalities of expireds and all this other stuff. So I'm like, I don't know how they're figuring it out, but I've heard it 2 or 3 times now, and when I have said it to other brand partners, they've gone, shoot, that's creative. All right, I think I know how they're doing it. So I'll say it to you too. Look, I'm a total capitalist. Go for it. I want to fool my.
So do you watermark from the MLS photos?
So no comment. No, we don't. Yeah, for sure. Well, we get with that digital staging, we get it. Okay, do this, and then in the backyard, it's it's bare, drop a vanishing age pool, hardscape it, and we're like, you know what? I have spoken to the attorney for the MLS, and he discouraged me from offering this kind of service level to you for exterior for sure. Even in the interior, they want you to put it on the image. I said, okay, that's my client's not going to like that. So please put it in the disclaimer, right? So in the disclaimer section, you have to put there that it's virtually staged images, right?
So you have to.
You have to, yeah, in the
Okay.
disclaimer.
It's supposed to be an actual
Yeah,
representation.
Yeah.
that was my question. Was
And I would put both. I put both. So my clients,
okay,
they often put both up there on the MLS. So I have the what the property actually looks like, and then the virtually staged image. Or they'll have the virtually staged image
okay, good.
front and center, and then down below they'll have
It's
what the actual image is. So you don't get consumers showing up for your listing
Right.
and
that's
going,
I'm
what the heck? Like this is, I'm really mad.
But as well as virtually staged.
There is a precise wording that that you got to put in there. And exterior, I still would discourage. I mean, we've done some exterior cool stuff, but when it's like nothing's back there and you're putting about 80 to 100 grand worth of digital staging, I would highly discourage you from getting too creative with your exterior stuff. And then we do not remove power lines. We do not, so we can do some things, remove trees and stuff that that you're going to be removing at some point. So we can remove all of that. Yeah. So it's like the stuff that is like, we just, as much as I know it, I'm like, look, I just highly discourage you guys from doing that. And power lines, my team won't touch it because I don't want to be in court with you.
Yeah.
But this is the other stuff we do. If you don't want to pay for a full twilight shoot, sometimes it's because, quite frankly, it's a fortune. I mean, we do 20, 30, 40, 50,000 square foot homes where it's a fortune just to prep the property for a shoot, the window cleanings and the landscaping. And so we offer a faux solution if we just simply can't get back out there. We will take a daytime photo, and we'll convert it to a twilight photo. And we're really good at removing the highlights and doing sky swaps and turning on the lights in the house, but we guess on what that stucco looks like in the dusk or twilight portion of the day. Nothing beats having my team out there actually at dusk or twilight, but we offer it at a real high level, and it's $25 a photo to do that. And we do it a lot. We also daily, my team is filled with twilight shoots because the value, consumers understand the value of primary colors on the MLS. Okay, consumers are drawn to primary colors. We just can't fight that subliminal impulse for pretty things and bright colors and content like puppies and kitties. I joked around about, but so this is lagging here. But yeah, as you can see, we do this a lot, and we do it at a real high level. So I've seen some other solutions out there where literally they'll do the sky swap. They'll just bring down the exposure on the image and leave all this highlight on the home, on the driveway. It just looks amateur. And honestly, you just avoid that. Please avoid that. Just remember 0.7 seconds for first impression. It makes a big difference. And don't have any amateur stuff up on your website.
Those are all the twilight.
These are all fake twilights. So these are all what we call our day to dusk conversions. I'm just going to show you examples of what we do and continue to do, but just so what's available out there. Like if you, it's great. Again, just to offer clients solutions. Like if you go on with your portfolio, you need to show points of difference. Like when you come out there and you're competing with the 2, 3, 4 agents for a listing. Why are they going to remember you? What's going to separate you from the next agent in the door, right? So, and first off, you got to get in that door. You got to be in their minds. You got to be thinking about how do I get visible on these platforms and how do I do it consistently and how do I keep my marketing costs down as much as I can. Be selective. Not every listing needs all the boxes checked. Although some of my clients, that's their approach to market because that's when they go into that listing presentation. Is I differ from my competitors because I do all of this. I don't hold back on my marketing. So, and then they feel they earn their commission too. So So that's pretty much it. So, yeah. I've gone so long, sorry, Richard. I don't even know, I, oh my word, I have gone so long. So I'm gonna stop sharing. Any questions?
No, any questions for Paolo? That was
No?
fantastic. That was
Okay.
A lot of great ideas.
Which softwares are they using mostly, your team?
So typically Lightroom, as far as like the post-production stuff, so photos, Lightroom, and then so start in Lightroom and in Photoshop. And then video, I've got a large video editing team. Primarily my team uses Final Cut, if you're familiar with that. I mean, we do, we'll sometimes graduate into Premiere and do After Effects for like removing things from videos. So, but yeah, so those are the four, mostly Adobe, like we're working with the Adobe solutions, if you're familiar with Adobe. So, but yeah, it's all done at a very high level. And then we use so for the actual virtual staging, that's 3D modeling. So we're using 3D software for that to give that dimensional feel and reality look, because otherwise it looks, I've seen some solutions where it's very 2D and it's very obvious that it's not, those objects are not there. Mine, you can zoom in and you're still struggling because you're seeing natural shadow, artificial shadow from the lights above. So we make sure we're putting all of that in there, reflections on windows and mirrors. So we want you guys to look professional. Like, quite frankly, the consumer should be like, that's all there. They should be thinking that's all there because you want to distract them when they're looking at your photos in regards to, oh, okay, okay, yeah, that's obvious. This is not all there. So it's all about that first impression. So it's very important. Yeah.
And if it's virtually staged, we have to mention it on the listing, right?
We should, it
You
should,
should.
because you're required to have a fair representation of the property. And that's why, especially you mentioned outside photos, you don't want to really publish anything that it doesn't fairly represent the property,
Yeah.
especially
It's
the
secret.
exterior.
Yeah. Oh my word. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, well, I spoke to the main attorney for the MLS, for Sierra MLS, sorry. And that was they said, look, ideally put it on the images, but at least put it in the disclaimer. So don't put it on, I mean, okay. I wouldn't recommend you put it on the images. It just, if it's in the disclaimer, according to my last conversation with them, that suffices. I would avoid exterior stuff like the backyard. If it's just, I don't know, you can, if you go there, then put concept or something on that image.
Yeah, something. You can actually add individual descriptions for every photo.
Yeah.
So you can do that.
So, but yeah, so that's what, again, I'm seeing a lot of my clients doing. And I work with some of the biggies in this space. So hopefully this kind of stimulates some ideas for you guys and what you're up to, and be aware what the big platforms are doing. It's so important. You'd be surprised at how easy a hook that is when trying to engage a consumer. The big platforms. Hey, I've got an incredible marketing solution and I get maximum visibility for my listings up on these big platforms. I'd love to sit down with you and demonstrate it. You know, so
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah, and then I'll leave these brochures with you guys. If you need more, please let my team know. We'll mail them up here. And then I'll send you guys that summary with the slide deck
Please,
and all
I
the
think that'd
data.
be very
Yeah,
helpful.
okay.
All right, thanks once again.
Great seeing you.
Bye, have a good time.
Of course, thank you for the borrow of the power.
Next on the agenda is Sarah Menchaca with Southern California Funding. Just to mention something else that I will not publish. If you do use Southern California Funding, you refer somebody to Sarah, for example. If the loan amount is $250,000 or less, you're paid an additional $250. If it's more than $250,000, it is a $500 payment to you. So that does not mean a recurring royalty if it's a refinance, for example, but the very first transaction. But if it's a purchase transaction, you'll be paid for each and every one. So Sarah, if you would just give us a quick rate update, I would appreciate it.
Hi, thanks, Rich. Hi, everyone. Rates are a little bit lower than they were last week. So for a conforming loan balance, this would be again 726,200 or less for Orange County. The range is 5.375 to 5.75 with 0 to 1 points being charged. High balance, so this would be anything above the conforming limit up to 1,089,300. You're looking at a range of 5.625 to 5.99%, again with 0 to 1 points being charged. And then a jumbo, so anything above the high balance loan limit, you're looking at between 5.875 to 6.25. We do have a 7.6 arm also available. Range would be about 5.5 to 5.75. Just wanted to remind everyone that we do have access to various different types of loans if there's someone who can't fit into your conforming loan guidelines. So we do debt service loans. So for any investors out there, basically the property itself has to cover the total mortgage payment in order to qualify. For any of your self-employed borrowers who do not show the income on the tax returns, we can do bank statement loans, profit and loss loans. So just let me know if you guys need anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Not next week, but in 2 weeks on that Monday, we have a presentation from Orange County Realtors, and it's in regards to ethics. That's CC Robles, who's going to be talking about, or actually she's the administrator for the MLS and also in charge of professional standards. And then on that Tuesday, we have a tax attorney coming in to talk about taxation to help you. So keep that in mind, but I just wanted you to know that in advance since it is now tax season. I personally know the attorney. He's excellent. I have to pitch my own side. Come on. Any questions before we conclude today's meeting? No, thank you for coming, everybody. It's good to see you.